requirement of 50 residents for this evening. Thank you all for coming out. Thanks for joining us this evening. As a reminder for decorum and procedure in accordance with the town bylaws governing our town meeting, please remove all hats for the duration of the meeting. Any non-residents, guests, or visitors, please move to the front row down bottom at this time. Seeing no one else moving to the front, at this time, please stand to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing following for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing to join me in a moment of silence to recognize all those who sacrificed their lives or dedicated their lives in service to the town of Dudley, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, or our country here in the United States. Thank you. Please be seated. For our evening together tonight, we'll be hearing from a variety of board members from our town government. All elected and appointed officials are serving the town in varying capacities, and it's important to acknowledge their efforts and dedication to our residents in the town of Dudley. Our Board of Selectmen and our FAA have worked diligently to prepare information for you tonight for our town meeting. Our town meeting will be continued tomorrow evening in the event that we need to extend our discussion of the articles in the warrant this evening. We should not be extending our evening past 10:30 tonight, and I would anticipate not taking up any new business after 10:15 unless that will save us the extra night tomorrow evening. In other words, I will hustle us along. We do have several procedural notes and reminders for this evening, and if needed for tomorrow evening. Please turn off your cell phone ringers. If you must take a call or must have your ringer on, please be at the back so that way you can exit quickly. Procedural rules are in accordance with the town bylaws and are available via the town clerk, the town website, and public library. If you are in doubt on a specific point this evening, you should consult the primary sources of authority, Mass General Law, the bylaws of the town of Dudley, and Robert's Rules of Order. If you do need to use a restroom, you will exit out into the cafeteria area, and we'll ask that you leave your clicker in one of the baskets out with one of our ushers. On your return to the auditorium, you can pick up another clicker and join the fun. If we do have to leave in an emergency, we do have exits here at the front and out at the back. Don't worry about clickers at that point because we will be in an emergent situation. No worries, we'll be okay. To be recognized this evening, we love participation. However, it's important that we maintain decorum and we do things properly. Please stand at your seat to avoid clustering up by the microphone. I will recognize you and invite you over to the mic. When you arrive at the microphone, please state your full name and your residence address. Full residential address for the town of Dudley, please. You must be at the microphone unless a physical condition prevents you. Just catch my attention. We will get a microphone over to you so you can participate. If necessary to adjust the height of the microphone, please do so, but please don't take the mic off. And, well, some of us in the room remember Phil Donahue. No Phil Donahue up and down the line. Each time that you approach the mic this evening, if you're speaking on multiple articles, please make sure you state your name and address clearly for the record. Through unanimous consent, I request the clarification for a department budget item or other article be required that employees or agents who are not residents but acting on behalf of the town of Dudley or petitioners of the article be permitted to speak. Are there any in opposition to this rule this evening? Seeing none, we will go ahead through unanimous consent and allow folks that I am recognizing to speak on behalf of petitioners or the town of Dudley on articles. Those members are down front in the front row. We have various members of consultants here, and we do also have a consultant, Carolyn Murray of KP Law, Town Council, who I may need to confer with on specific points this evening. During debate, it's very important that we speak only to the issues at hand. If I determine the comments are not germane to the issues, I will interrupt and instruct you to move on or conclude your remarks. You may not make personal remarks about others or impugn their motives. You may not cheer or jeer points made by members of the public. Except for the petitioner and certain town officials, you may only speak twice to a motion, and your comments are limited to a specific time limit. All questions must be addressed through the chair. That's me. If you do ask a question, you do not lose the floor, and the answer is not counted as a part of your speaking time. As Robert's Rules of Order permit speakers to speak for 10 minutes, I ask that through unanimous consent for a rule of the meeting limiting debate to 5 minutes per speaker be adopted this evening. Are there any objections to adopting the rule of 5 minutes time limit per speaker per article this evening? Hearing none, I thank you, and those of us who don't wish to be here tomorrow night, again, thank you. Voting has typically been a voice vote, except in situations where a 2/3 vote is required. However, through the use of technology and the clicker system, we no longer have to move to that type of voting system unless our technology fails. We do have a backup plan in the event that it does, but it's pretty reliable. So please follow along as we go through our tutorial for how to use the clickers, and then we will go ahead and get down to our real business this evening. So you have a keypad. It's set up nice and simple. 1 is yes, 2 is no. The buttons are shown 1A in the top left and 2B in the middle top right. If you push the wrong button, press again to change your vote. The last button you push while voting is open. While the voting is open, will register. Response cards will only work in this meeting. So it's very important that you not take these with you at the end of the night. They're no good to you. They will not change the TV channel or open a garage door. And we still use these things to change TV channels? Voice control? No. So it's very important to note that there'll be a green light on the LCD screen once your vote has been recorded. If you see a red light on the LCD screen, it means your vote was not recorded and you should try again. We do have a time limit on our voting this evening, and the countdown will be shown up on the screen. It's pretty self-explanatory. But if you are having difficulty, please call attention that your clicker may not be working. We can certainly help you at any point tonight. So we're going to go ahead and practice. It's a great question. We're going to see this question. We're going to have to go ahead and reload this question in order to get the voting to work. So it's a little hiccup. There will be no hiccups during our actual presentation. So is today Monday, October 25th of 2021? You can answer A or B. A is a yes vote. B is a no vote. I've gone ahead and entered mine. We see at the bottom right-hand side the timer clicking down to 1, and our time has expired. And only 6% of us are aware that today is, 6% of us think that it is not October 25th of 2021. As you can see, this passes with a very large majority. There's our clicker tutorial. You've all done very, very well. And how you choose to vote this evening is not governed by others. Make choice, participate in this democratic tradition as you can. Prior to bringing up Ms. Smith, our town clerk, just a reminder to the citizens of Dudley, we do have trick-or-treating for the town on Sunday evening. As a general rule, please remember that porch lights on usually mean that you are available and ready to have candy for the youngins. If your porch lights are off, they shouldn't be bothering. Just keep that as an anchor point for Sunday evening of this weekend. Ms. Smith, let's dispense with the reading of the warrant.
To either of the constables in the town of Dudley and the county of Worcester County, greetings.
Yeah.
To either of the constables in the town of Dudley and the county of Worcester, greetings. In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Dudley, qualified to vote in elections and town affairs, to meet in the Connie Vanco Galley Auditorium at Shepherd Hill Regional High School, and said Dudley on Monday, October 25th, 2021, and Tuesday, October 26, 2021, if needed, and any other such times as may be voted if needed at 7 p.m., then and there to take action on the following articles.
And the delivery and certification.
You are hereby directed to serve this warrant by posting attested copies thereof at the Dudley Municipal Center and on the Town of Dudley website, and by posting notice of availability of the warrant on one cable access channel. Warrant to be posted at least 7 days before holding of said meeting. Hereof, fail not, and make due return of this warrant with your doing thereon to the town clerk at the time of the holding of said meeting, giving unto our hands this 5th day of October in the year 2021. Signed, Jason Johnson, Stephen Sullivan, Kerry Siganevich. I have notified and warned the inhabitants of the town of Dudley by posting up attested copies of the same at the Dudley Municipal Center on the 8th of October 2021. I also observed it posted on the town website and notice of availability on the Dudley Cable Access Channel on the 8th of October 2021. Thereby making my return to the Dudley Town Clerk on the 8th of October 2021. Signed, Mark M. Mayotte, Constable of Town of Dudley.
Thank you very much, Ms. Smith. And without any further ado, let us dive in this evening. Article 1, to see if the town will vote to receive and publish reports of the several town officers in all committees or take any other actions relative thereto. Mr. Marcy.
Board of Selectmen recommends that Article 1 be approved as read, and I so move.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Is there discussion on Article 1? Seeing none, please vote. 1 in favor, 2 opposed. That passes with a clear majority. Article 2, hear committee recommendations. To hear and act on the recommendations of the Board of Selectmen and the Finance and Appropriation and Advisory Committee, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayotte.
The FAA recommends that you pass Article 2 as written, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion on Article 2. Seeing none at this time, all in favor 1, opposed 2. Clear majority. Article 2 passes. Article 3, unpaid bill from a prior fiscal year. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from account number 00610003590001, water retained earnings, the sum of $5,550.50 to pay outstanding invoices from RI Analytical or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayotte.
The FAA recommends that you pass Article 3 as written, and that the fund be transferred from the accounts listed in the warrant, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Prior to getting into any discussion on Article 3, please note that a 9/10 majority is required. Any discussion for Article 3? Hearing none. 1 for aye, 2 for nay. We have achieved our 9/10 threshold, 93%. Article 4, unpaid bills of the prior year. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds from free cash the sum of $10,580.79 to pay outstanding invoices from Brookfield Renewable US Terraform Phoenix 2 Arcadia Holdings LLC Aegis Scientific and Gatehouse New England, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor?
The FAA recommends that Article 4 be approved and that the funds be transferred from free cash as listed in the warrant, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Prior to any discussion on Article 4, please note that a 9/10 majority is required for this article. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, 1 for aye, 2 for nay. Motion fails. 89%. Article 5, FY 2022 supplemental budget appropriation, to see if the town will vote to determine the sums of money the town will raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from any available funds to defray the supplemental charges and expenses to the town, and including debt and interest for fiscal year 2022, voted under Article 4 of the May 24, 2021 annual town meeting, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor?
The FAA recommends that Article 5 be approved, transferring from available funds as shown in Appendix A, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion for Article 5? Seeing none, please cast your vote. 1 for aye, 2 for nay. Motion carries 9/10. Article 6, interdepartmental transfer, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $5,700.00 from account number 001-136-578-202, online serves OpenGov, to account number 001-161-587702, voting equipment maintenance fee, for the purpose of purchasing an additional voting machine in compliance with Commonwealth of Massachusetts requirement for Dudley to add an additional voting precinct, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor?
The FAA recommends to pass Article 6 as written, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion for Article 6. Seeing none, please cast your vote. Aye 1, nay 2. Motion passes. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $1,299.00 from account number 001-136-578-202, online services OpenGov, $1,319.00 from account number 001-136-579-502 VPN licenses, and $2,399.00 from account number 001-136-578-302 Help Desk, for a total of $5,017.00 to account number 001-156-5225-02 Stormwater and Dams, in compliance with Mass DEP testing, inspection, and regulatory compliance, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor?
The FAA recommends you pass Article 7 as written, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion for Article 7. Seeing none, please cast your vote. 1 for aye, 2 for nay. To members of the public who came in a little bit late, as a reminder, all hats must be removed during the duration of the meeting in the auditorium in accordance with town bylaws. Thank you. Article 7 has passed. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $2,331.84 from account number 0200-000-578-900 wage study grant to account number 0001-220-511201 fire chief, and the sum of $1,713.40 from account number 0200-000-578-900 wage study grant to account number 001-220-511801 assistant fire chief for the purpose of paying contractual increases or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayotte.
The FAA recommends that you pass Article 8 as written, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion for Article 8. Seeing none, please cast your vote. 1 for aye, 2 for nay. Article 8's been approved. Article 9, interdepartmental transfers to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $10,000.00 from account number 001-000-359-001 free cash, $20,000.00 from account number 000-1-240-514601 agent salary, $7,243.20 from account number 0200-000-578-900 wage study grant, and $756.80 from account number 001-136-578-702 cybersecurity for a total of $38,000.00 to account number 001-210-518301 lieutenant salary for the purpose of hiring a police lieutenant as approved by the Board of Selectmen or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayotte.
The FAA recommends you pass Article 9 as written, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion for Article 9? Seeing none, please cast your vote. In favor, A. Opposed, B. Motion carries. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $8,987.01 from account number 001-979-581100 merit pool for purposes of FY22 compensation adjustments as follows. For the treasurer collector in the amount of $3,224.81 to account number 001-145-511101 treasurer collector salary account, and for the town clerk in the amount of $5,762.20 to account number 001-161-511101 town clerk salary account, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayotte.
The FAA recommends you pass Article 10 as written, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Prior to any discussion, please note a 2/3 majority is required for action on Article 10. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote for Article 10. 1 aye, 2 nay. Motion carries 70%. Article 11, to see if the town will vote to transfer from account number 000-1-000-359-001 free cash the total sum of $40,000.00 with the sum of $20,000.00 going to account number 000-123-570-502 operating expenses to offset the costs of mechanical system cleaning, maintenance, and repair for the Town Hall Senior Center and Police Station, and the sum of $20,000.00 going to account number 000-123-577-502 grant and project design for the purposes of engineering, testing, and administrative costs associated with regulatory compliance and grant application, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayotte.
The FAA recommends that you approve Article 11 as written, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion on Article 11. Seeing none, it's clicker time. 1 for aye, 2 for nay. Article 11 carries. Article 12, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $15,000.00 from account number 0001-000-359-001 to account number 0001-131-578-002 FAA Reserve Fund, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor.
The FAA recommends that you pass Article 12 as written, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion on Article 12. Seeing none at this time, call for a vote on Article 12. 1 for aye, 2 for nay. Article 12 carries. Article 13, Webster Dudley French River District, Urban Center Housing TIF, Plan, Zone, and Agreement. To see if the town will vote to A, approve a proposed Urban Center Housing Tax Increment Financing Plan, UCH TIF Plan, known as the Webster Dudley French River District, UCH TIF Plan. B, approve a proposed Urban Center Housing Tax Increment Housing Zone, UCH TIF Zone, known as the Webster Dudley French River District, UCFH TIF Zone. C, approve a proposed Urban Center Housing Tax Increment Financing Agreement, UCH TIF Agreement, by and between the Town of Dudley and Stevens Mill, LLC, all in accordance with Chapter 40, Section 60 of the General Laws and Regulations of the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD 760 CMR 58, for the development of real property known as Stevens Mill, consisting of Parcel I, with buildings thereon, known as and located at 8 Mill Street, Dudley, containing approximately 5.942 acres of land. Parcel 2, a small triangular parcel of land containing approximately 3,110 square feet of land. And Parcel 3, a parcel of land containing approximately 1.01 acres, all of which are located in the proposed UCH TIF zone. D, authorize the Board of Selectmen to submit certified applications to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development for approval. E, authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute the UCH TIF agreements and any other related documents, and to take any such other actions as may be necessary or appropriate to implement the UCH TIF agreements or to obtain approval of the certified applications. F, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. DeMaio.
The FAA recommends you pass Article 13 with the following amendments. Section C, approve the proposed Urban Center Housing TIF, Tax Increment Financing Agreement, UCH-TIF Agreement, by and between the Town of Dudley and the Stevens Mill owner, LLC, in all accordance with Chapter 40, Section 60 of the General Laws. Section E, authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute the above UCH TIF agreement and drop the S from agreements and any other related documents. And I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Yes, Mr. Breyer.
John Breyer, 16 Flaxfield Road. I would like to amend Article 13 by adding a new paragraph F that states by requiring any affordable residential unit in the UCH-TIF zone to include a local preference for existing Town of Dudley residents to the extent permitted by state law or regulation, and to then move the existing paragraph F to a new paragraph G.
Mr. Moderator, before we take a second, do we need to vote on the original amendment that had a motion and a second before we accept another amendment?
Mr. Matt was making the motion
He amended, made an amendment.
to amend.
So we're supposed to vote on the first
Yes,
amendment?
yeah, we're going to have to take that. Mr. Breyer, we're going to go ahead and put a pause on your motion to amend. We're going to address Mr. Mayott's amendment to the warrant article that's printed, discuss that, and then we can open up discussion for the remainder. Ms. Murray, does that make sense? Okay, perfect, thank you. Good catch. Is there any discussion, Mr. Mayor? You have the floor first. You made the motion.
No, just on Article, we wanted to clarify section E so that the authorization for the Board of Selectmen was directly for the above TIF and not a general blanket authorization for all TIFs.
We see that, as is with any TIF agreement, all future TIFs do have to come before the town meeting. But it's a good clarification. Thank you. Yes, sir. You can head to the mic. Reminder, the discussion now is related only to the amendments that were proposed by Mr. Mayor.
When are we going to have a discussion regarding the TIF itself?
Once we've approved, if we approve the motion to amend the warrant article as printed, we can entertain discussion, about the actual warrant article.
During the discussion?
Yes. And are we prepared for the clickers for the amendment? For a yes, no? Yes, okay. Just checking the technology. Seeing no other discussion about the amendment, we are not voting on the actual TIF agreement at this time. We are voting to amend, as Mr. Mayotte recommended, cast 1 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative. Hold, please. Okay, now we're up. So again, this is for the amendment for Article 13. Still not working. Hold tight, please. Now it's working. Maybe. All right, we'll go ahead and do this the old-fashioned way. So, we're going to go ahead with a voice vote. The amendment to the article is a majority vote, so we'll go ahead and ask you to state your position. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The motion has been amended. The motion has been passed to amend Article 13 to the language that Mr. Mayotte proposed. Thank you. Is there any additional discussion? Mr. Breyer.
Do you want me to repeat the motion again, or?
If you could, just for my note-taking purposes.
All right, the motion is to amend Article 13 by adding a new paragraph F that states that by requiring any affordable residential unit in the UCH-TIF zone to include a local preference for existing town of Dudley residents to the extent permitted by state law or regulation, and to move the existing paragraph F to new paragraph G. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Breyer, would you like to make a statement about the amendment?
Yeah. As for this particular amendment, I was former chair of the Economic Development Committee and Planning Board for 20 years. I've been involved for a long time with the town. And as we wrote the master plan and the economic development plan, one of the sad things that we saw for our senior population was that as they got into those older ages, it was tough for them to maintain their house. And on a fixed income, the taxes rise, and a lot of them were forced to sell their homes, but there was no place in Dudley for them to go. Now, because of federal and state law, we couldn't ask for, a portion of these affordable units to be dedicated for 55 and older. It's against the Federal Fair Housing Act. So by doing this, by giving local preference to existing Dudley residents for those affordable units, it now gives them an option. It also gives someone that may temporarily, run, across some tough times, maybe they're unemployed, where instead of leaving the school district that their kids are currently in because they lost their house, they might be able to go and actually rent one of these units if they're available. And so this is for us to take care of our own, and that's what the amendment is. Thank you.
Mr. Marcy?
Board of Selectmen has no objection to that. We've run that by council. It's okay too, and I think it's a hell of an idea,
Is there any additional discussion for the amendment to Article 13 to create a new paragraph F, summarizing to add local preference for the residential units and create a new paragraph G to conclude the article? Seeing none, we'll just go ahead and bypass the technology on this one, and we'll go ahead with a voice vote. All those in favor of the amendment? Aye. All those opposed to the amendment? Motion passes with a majority. The Article 13 has been amended to reflect Mr. Breyer's recommendations and amendment. Opening back up to our original conversation related to Article 13, is there any additional discussion for Article 13? Yes, sir. Now it's time. Now we're in.
Hi, my name is Anton Kucherov. I live on 72 Flaxfield Road. I looked a little bit at the numbers that you put on the Facebook page, and thank you for the transparency. Now, the proposed investment into the Stevens Mill is about $45 million. So I plugged that into an Excel in order to see how much it will cost us, the Dudley residents, to give the proposed tax benefit to the development. We currently pay $12.30 for $1,000. So a $45 million investment would yield $565,800 yearly tax bill. The current proposed amendment gives a 100% tax rate for years 0 to 10, and then starting at 25 and going up and up until 75%. That, all in all, comes to $8,487,000. Again, about, let's call it $8.5 million. Now, there are 3,905 households in Dudley. So if we divide that number, we get $2,173.36 that every single household will give as a tax benefit in order to do this development. Now, what we'll get in return for that? We'll get more traffic, we'll have to improve our sewer and water systems, and we'll have more strain in our school systems. We will get, however, an improved waterfront as a result. So if you really like to enjoy an improved waterfront and pay $2,173.36 for the enjoyment of that, I suggest you vote yes. However, if you still are super into improved waterfall and spending so much money, there are also other ways to develop the waterfront. For example, we can take these $8,487,000 and issue municipal bonds and improve our waterfronts using that money. So, in conclusion, I don't think that this is the best solution for improving the waterfront. And by the way, all of that is not adjusted to inflation. So when the value of the property goes up within these 20 years, and as we see, there's quite a lot of inflation going on right now. So this tax rate will inflate and inflate and inflate into a much larger number. So I strongly suggest we vote no and seek other ways to improve our beautiful waterfront. Thank you.
Thank you. Please hold your applause this evening. We aren't here to support any position other than by vote. Mr. Sullivan.
Stephen Sullivan, Garden Drive, Board of Selectmen. Appreciate the previous speaker's comments. First, the waterfront is not owned by the town. It's owned by the person that owns the mill. We can't arbitrarily go in there and raise funds and try to develop it.
The property costs $1 million.
Hold on, please. Mr. Sullivan has the floor. We don't address speakers and we don't rebut. You come through me. Thank you.
Secondly, the project, the building as constructed is about $16,000 a year in taxes. There's about a 3% increase per year if that mill, nothing changes. The purpose behind the TIF, the reason why it's backloaded, is to give the developer a chance to get in there, and they're putting their most money in the project. So the town is benefiting because the mill is being converted, being improved. Yes, the developer gets the break in the beginning, and as the previous speaker stated, as it goes on, the tax bill will increase. The TIF that's currently proposed is approximately $2.2 million over the 20 years, which at the end of the 20 years, I agree with your math, essentially yields about $600,000 in year 21 in today's dollars. There will be probably inflation due to the value of the property going up, so that 600 will probably go up. The deal negotiated by our town council, through the board, with counsel for the applicant, we feel was fair. It was a much better deal, beneficial for the town. And the previous speaker said 10 years at zero, it's 7 years at zero, which I'm sure someone's probably saying, who cares about 3 years, but it makes a difference because those years 8, 9, and 10 will begin to yield on their investment. So the bottom line, we're getting $16,000 a year with about a 3% increase, or we can do the TIF and have $2.2 million and then realize the full value of the 21st year.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Yes, sir. Ma'am, sorry. I got a glare. Way back.
Hello, Tammy Ducharme, 27 June Street. I'm a local business owner as well, and I'm the owner of Ford Farm on 21 West Main Street. I don't want to see everyone see this as a threat to our community and rather an opportunity. This is a big opportunity for many of the businesses and for the people of this community to start growing as the towns around us are going to soon surpass us. Webster's building, Putnam has done it. This is our opportunity right now. This will bring business and more opportunity to our town now. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Siganovich.
Hello, Gary Siganovich, Airport Road, and on the Board of Selectmen. One thing, Mr. Sullivan, I agree with what Mr. Sullivan said. And sir, I understand change is difficult, and I appreciate the math you did. One thing that I would disagree with is I would never vote for a municipal bond. That would actually raise people's taxes across the town. This project isn't raising anyone's taxes. We're getting what we've always gotten for taxes on the property, the $16,000 and change. That's not going away. We're going to get that regardless. But over time, as this gets developed, we're going to get more money. And to answer the point of the school, you're not the only person that's brought that up. There have been concerns about more students coming into the school. Well, if we build single-family homes, there's going to be more students. And with this project, a lot of it is one-bedroom apartments. And with Mr. Breyer's amendment, we're going to have 55-plus people in there who, I'm close to there, and I don't have any kids in school. And it's going to be reserved. That's a great idea, by the way, John. You come up with a lot of them, and that was really good. Because this is actually helping our own. This is a portion of it is going to be going towards older folks in Dudley who are having a difficult time. But, so I just want to stress the fact that this isn't costing any of you any money in taxes to renovate this. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Breyer.
Again, John Breyer, 16 Flaxfield Road. I'm your neighbor. I live literally 1,500 feet from the mill. Over the last 20 years, since the mill kind of shut down, we on the planning board, on the economic development committee, we spent years trying to figure out what to do with this and try to get tenants. And I think just for those that are just looking for facts, you have to remember, this is zoned industrial. There could be a hammer factory there operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, blaring, whistles, noise, hammers. That could be it. That's how it's been zoned for as long as I've been there. And I've been there since '98. We have tried to reach out to various companies. We've reached out to different IPG photonics, and they're doing their expansion. We tried to get them on side, formally, hey, what about Dudley? We're right down the road. You know, Oxford puts too good a deal on the table. We've reached out to other distribution centers, quiet, clean businesses, office parks. COVID has actually changed the way people are working today. You're not going to see more office space being leased. There's going to be a glut. That whole market's crashing right now. We had, with the previous owners, Mr. Peterson, we looked at a long-term care facility. We looked at, senior living. The place just couldn't support it. There was no money investment. About 5 years ago, there was a company that came in here and wanted to do 100% low-income housing, 3-bedroom apartments, no occupancy caps. They were going to invoke 40B instead of all refugees in the town. They absolutely knew we were going to fight them to the death on that. I don't know if they're still trying to get their federal loans and grants. When Camden approached us and we sat down with them, this was 4 years ago, or almost 5 years ago, and we saw the quality of their projects that they did, right? Above market rate for active life seniors, young millennials, young families just starting out, newly married couple that wants to get settled here in Dudley. There's nothing out there. We help them build. They did a whole economic development research on it, demographics, economics. This is a home run project. Yes, we have to give up revenue, tax revenue for it. But we've already done, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, $1 million upgrade with the water sewers that can feed a lot of that building. We've got everything in place. This is our last best chance to get something done with this facility, how to actually do something for the community. And it'd be nice. And I think they have plans of doing possibly a banquet there still, we're doing weddings and sports bar. I mean, it brings possibility where today there is no possibility. So please vote yes on this.
Thank you, Mr. Breyer. Yes, Mr. Anton. We've got about 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining on your 5.
Thank you. I do not agree with the statement that it will not cost us any money. Whenever there are more people moving into any town, it always costs money. We need to do sewer improvements, we need to do water improvements, we need to do road improvements, and there will be children in schools. Even in 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments, you can have children. I'm an immigrant. I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment sharing a bedroom with my sister. And you know what? We went to school. Every resident we add adds cost to the city. And they should pay the taxes. And as you said correctly, we do allow one family houses to be built. Makes perfect sense. Well, when this one family house is built, they pay taxes. Now, you're talking about helping the community, and I'm all for helping the community. But giving an $8 million tax break to a commercial company has nothing to do with helping the community. We're helping a commercial company. You're voting to pay more taxes, $2,700. Each one of us will have to pay. And this is only for a house of $365,000. If it costs more, you will pay more in order to support a commercial company. Well, I don't think that, and I don't understand how this is helping the community. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Marcy, you had your hand?
Thank you for that, Speaker. We're going to get into all these things. I know everybody has a lot of questions about the bad parts, or what perceived bad parts of this. This is just to talk about a TIF district. This isn't talking about the mill yet, okay, which is part of the district. All of those conditions, you talked about traffic, parking. I know those things run through your head, Mr. Goodrow, I understand. Those will be handled during the planning board process to issue a special permit. And there's going to be a public hearing, which you'll see on November 10th, and I invite everybody to go there, ask your questions, find out, and then understand that we have an extreme opportunity here that we haven't seen, to Mr. Breyer's point, ever. $45 million of private investments in our little town that we love. $45 million. Show me something else that we get in place. that's gonna move us forward. Think about the projects that we've had, $80 million worth of projects over the last couple of years, if you count all DMA holdings and such. We have an opportunity in front of us. The people get to decide like what is acceptable, what's not. The people here are going to show you some stuff tonight. I ask you to have an open mind about it and know that this board will never allow anything bad to happen to this town. You elected us to come up here and represent all of you. And I understand that we don't have a lot of levers to pull. Well, this is a big lever and we're going to pull it. We have to. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Marcy. Mr. Sullivan, then we do have a presentation that we'll be pulling up in just a moment. Mr. Sullivan, last word before the press.
Thank you, Stephen Sullivan again. Just a couple things I meant to add, Mr. Rossi kind of beat me on. With the DMA holdings and if this project passes, we will have about $80 million that basically shovel ready. It's shovel ready upon completion of the planning board special permit process.
Good to put the presentation up.
I don't want to focus too much on the mill, although obviously the centerpiece of the district. It also affects 71 properties in that district, commercial and residential, where if improvements are made and they want a TIF agreement, they come to the board. Every TIF agreement is separate and negotiated. It would affect any property in that district, which was covered in the public hearing process. Somebody talked about infrastructure. You're right. That mill will pay money. Our water sewers and enterprise fund. They will pay more money to the enterprise fund. And in theory, if you're on town water and sewer or either or, you will benefit by having more use, more money coming in. So that will also help offset costs. The town administrator can speak of it better. We've had public hearings on it. He's got us a grant through Safe Streets, which is dealing with infrastructure in that area. We've got grant money ready to come to help us improve. The applicant's going to make a presentation. As Mr. Marcy said, some of this stuff is through the special permit process. Traffic studies have been done or will be done. Lighting, all that stuff will be addressed. So the project, we're focusing on the mill because obviously it's the centerpiece, but it's an entire district. It overlaps into Webster. Webster had approved on their side of the river for the project. So that's just some of the things. And when you talk about a family's tax bill, and if it pays for a student, this and that, I have 4 children. My tax bill did not cover my 4 children when they went to school. And if you're paying taxes on a $365,000 house, you're going to pay it whether the mill's there or not. So single family, residential is different than the project in the district we're trying to create.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call up representatives related to the Webster WCH TIF district to go ahead and review a presentation to outline elements of the project, for informational purposes to help us understand a bit more about what this TIF entails. You can come down front, wherever you're more comfortable.
Maybe I'll stay here for a second.
Thank you.
Okay. Sounds good.
For the camera.
Hi everybody, thank you for having us tonight. It means a lot to us, we really appreciate it. So the proposal that we bring to you tonight is to set up a TIF district that encompasses properties on, if you could advance the slide. Thanks. On both sides of the French River, in Webster and in Dudley. All told, it's about 63 properties. Last week, on October 18th, I was over at the Webster Town meeting to present there, and they took the same vote that you'll be taking tonight. It passed there. The town is very supportive. So really, in terms of the process, this is the next step to present the vote to you, and if it passes, then we'll be one step closer. And as somebody already mentioned, just to note that this vote is not so much on the Stevens Mill project, but it's really the broader TIF district, which is a sort of bigger plan that the Stevens Mill sits within. But really, we're talking about over 60 properties on both sides of the river. This is really a district-scale solution to an existing set of challenges, which I can briefly walk through. Next slide, please. Thanks. Okay, so these two communities, Dudley and Webster, are joined by the French River and connected by Main Street. So in terms of what this TIF plan can help help address. Due to decades of disinvestment, there are underutilized, vacant industrial and commercial properties on both sides of the river. And that's really the sort of driving impetus behind this, is how can investment be brought into those properties that are currently underutilized. Over the past couple of years, the towns of Dudley and Webster have collaborated on planning studies. They've worked together to look at this area and examine and identify what the challenges are and come up with ideas for how to solve those challenges, those very real challenges. And that's why we're here proposing this UCH TIF district. Next slide, please. So a TIF district is a tool that's used across the country, including in places throughout the state of Massachusetts. And really put simply, it's a tool that can be used to catalyze investment and spark change, improve conditions in the built environment where it's needed most. Where if there was no economic development tools like a TIF district, that investment would not come in. And properties would continue to deteriorate and remain underutilized. So really, the TIF district that we're proposing, sorry, if you advance the slide. Thank you. So again, put simply, the TIF district we're proposing will allow the community of Dudley and the community of Webster to encourage development, strengthen the economy, create new jobs, expand the supply of housing, invest in the roadway network, and also restore community access to the French River, which, if you're familiar with that specific district, very hard to access, overgrown, and not an amenity to either town. So this would allow investment dollars to be brought down to that area and really restore community access to the French River, which it can be seen as an important investment in the urban environment. In the short term, the TIF district we're proposing will help to save this precious granite mill structure that you have, 160 years old. This amazing legacy of history that's in this building. And really the TIF district will enable the development team to salvage this mill and breathe new life into it so that it can really remain in place for another 160 years rather than being taken away. In the long term, the TIF district will also enable other transformative projects on both sides of the river. Investment begets investment, and as the area improves, investment will continue from other parties. That TIF district will be there as a mechanism to enable the communities to voice their support and put their support behind these projects, so you can have a real transformation on both sides of that French River, and really do something that helps to take that once great district and turn it around again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, there were a couple of questions or a couple of statements related to schools and burden on additional housing. I'd like to call up Superintendent Marsh to have the floor for a moment.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I know that school children comes up as a number for towns. There have been many studies on what the increase in enrollment would be for a district. But before that, I want to make it clear that our enrollment is down within the Dudley Child Regional School District. It's been declining over the past decade. At this point in time, we have 3,500 students, which is a number I'm sure most of you are not familiar with for Dudley Child Regional School Districts. But looking at many of the studies, and I only pulled up one right now, and I've done this in the past with other districts when you look at redistricting. But if you look at apartment buildings, a one-bedroom apartment would yield 0.01 new children on average. A two-bedroom, 0.26 children on average, and a three-bedroom, 0.89 on average. And if you wanted to do a comparison to that to, for example, the Chicago Housing Authority, a one-bedroom would yield 0.75, a two-bedroom, 2.25, and a three-bedroom, 4.21. So there would be, no one's saying that there wouldn't be increased children in our district, but it is at a time where capacity, we could actually use the capacity of our schools but it doesn't yield a tremendous amount.
Thank you. Is there any additional discussion for Article 13? Yes, Mr. Fire Chief. Yep. Coach Janowski.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I just wanted to say that right now the mill is in deplorable condition. It's extremely dangerous for us to go in there. It's unsprinkled. It's been vacant for a long time. There's illegal activities going on in there constantly. We can't send people in there because of the safety issue. We have a red X on the building. I think this project is well worth it. Like Mr. Breyer said, it's our last shot. And I tell you, I'd much rather go to burnt toast than go in there into a vacant building trying to get somebody out that's trapped in there and have something worse happen. Because it'll give us a code-compliant fire suppression system and alerting system paid for through private investment. And that alone is about $800,000, so thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Massey.
Just one final note on behalf of the board and everybody else that I've said this before, as we're trying to move Dudley forward, I ask you to think about civic pride, and we talk about bringing business and what people see when they first drive across that bridge into Dudley. You know, Webster's reinvigorating their downtown. We have an opportunity to do that too. Let's be proud of our town. Let's use private investment to make that happen.
Thank you. Mr. Zukowski, I think I saw your hand before Chief Wayne.
Scott Zukowski, 8 Catherine Street, I'm the Water Sewer Commissioner. I know that was brought up, water sewer infrastructure. We're in the process of spending between $10 and $15 million improving our water systems. One, to eliminate a chemical. The other is to increase capacity to support these projects. Mr. Sullivan mentioned that we're upwards of $80 million in private investment. We're doing our improvements to support those. With all of those, every one of those apartment renters will have a water bill and a sewer bill, and they will pay into the system, and they will support it, and it will support it, and it will be, it's a positive. As for taxes, if you cut this down, okay, we're getting $16,000 a year for it now. We get nothing. We continue to get the $16,000. We don't get anything. There's no improvement. And then that building has to be, something else has to be done with the building, most likely tearing it down. That's the bottom line. So we're at $16,000 now. We can only improve our tax increase.
Thank you. Mr. Siganovich.
Gary Siganovich, Airport Road. Mr. Zukowski, can I ask you a yes or no question, please? Regardless of if this passes or not, we're still spending that money, correct? Regardless of if this next question passes,
right?
This TIF district, right? We're still doing these improvements.
The water sewer improvements?
Yes.
Yes, the water sewer improvements are happening regardless.
Okay. It's just, I want to make sure no one's confused and they think, oh, if we vote for this, it's happening regardless.
Our improvements are happening regardless.
That's all.
They
Thank
will
you.
increase capacity in the system amongst other things.
Thank you. That's all. Just wanted to clear that up.
Thank you. Chief Wayne.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Steve Wayne, the Police Chief. The Fire Chief was able to bring up some of the issues with the conditions of the building. One thing I'll just have people think about a bit is the fact that that whole area, especially including the mill, was built in the mid-1860s. And obviously our traffic situation and everything else has changed. in the last 150 or 160 years, as you can obviously know. And the biggest opportunity I see in something like this whole district being able to be put through is the opportunities for grant and outside funding in order to improve a lot of those areas in that location. If I mention Dippin' Donuts, I'm sure you all have an opinion on the way the traffic is down there now. I'm sure if you try to drive up Mill Street and go past this area, how the sidewalk is all of a sudden disappears and then reappears on the other side of the building. There's so many different improvements that can take place in that area. A lot of them will be scheduled to take place just around this area with the projects that are going through. But I just look forward to the opportunity of having grant opportunities and outside funding in these types of districts that are available to make some permanent improvements in those areas. Improve safety, bring in the sidewalks, widen the roads, do some things in there that really need to be done to bring that area up to the standard of traffic that it faces now as opposed to what it was 150 years ago. Okay, and if anybody ever has any questions on this, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Is there any additional discussion on Article 13? Seeing none, we'll take a vote on Article 13 as amended. Please cast your vote in favor. Aye, number 1. Nay, opposed, number 2. We'll get there. It's working. Good. Motion passes. Vote, please. Thank you. The vote's clear, but quorum, please. Thank you. Article 14, brine making machine. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds the sum of $110,000.00 or other such sum for the purchase of chemical road treatment system with associated equipment as recommended by the Capital Improvement Planning Committee, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor.
The FAA recommends that Article 14 be approved, and I move that we appropriate the sum of $110,000 or some such sum for the purposes set forth in Article 14 of the warrant, and that to fund this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, is authorized to borrow said amount pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, subsection 7 or 8, or any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds and notes of the town bears for. Any premium received upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this vote, thus any such premium applied to the payment of the cost of the issuance of such bonds or notes may be applied to the payment of the cost approved by this vote. In accordance with General Law, Chapter 44, subsection 20, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount. And I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there discussion for Article 14? Seeing none, before casting your vote for Article 14, please note a 2/3 majority is required. Please cast your vote. 1 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative. Motion carries. At this time, we'll take a brief, not really a recess, just a pause in the article, so our guests down front, if you wish to just make your exit, we'll give you that opportunity to do so. Thank you. Those of you who are residents of Dudley, if we hit 49, we will be back tomorrow night to resume into quorum, so let's keep us at 50. We're good. As the crowd exits, Article 15, authorized purchase of a vehicle. To see if the town will vote to transfer from account number 08030005785500, capital improvement stabilization, the sum of $50,000.00 or some such sum for the replacement of the building, grounds, cemeteries, and parks truck and associated warning and communications equipment as recommended by the Capital Improvement Planning Committee, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor.
The FAA recommends that Article 15 be approved as written and that the funds be transferred for the purposes set forth in the article, and I so move.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there discussion for Article 15? Hearing none, at this time, please cast your vote. 1 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative. Motion carries. Article 16, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $15,000.00 from account number 080300578500. Did I skip an article? No. Capital Improvement Stabilization to account number 00012105700002, police expenses for the purpose of leasing a police cruiser or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor.
The FAA recommends that Article 16 be approved as written and all the funds be transferred for the purposes set forth in the article, and I so move.
Motion has been made and seconded. Prior to discussion, please note Article 16 does require a 2/3 majority vote to be passed. Is there discussion for Article 16? Seeing none, please, all those in favor 1, all those opposed 2. Motion carries. Article 17, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds the sum of $280,000.00 or some such sum for the purchase of 4 cruisers and 1 fire chief vehicle with associated equipment at the rate of 1 per year beginning FY '23 for 5 years, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Matt.
The FAA recommends that you approve Article 17, and I move to appropriate the sum of $280,000 or some such sum for the purposes set forth in Article 17 of the warrant, and that to fund this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, is authorized to borrow said amount pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, subsection 7 or 8, or any other enabling authority to issue bonds and notes of the town thereof. Any premium received upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this sale, less any such premium applied to the payment of the costs of issuance of such bonds or notes may be applied to the payment of the costs approved by this vote. In accordance with General Law, Chapter 44, Section 20, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount. And I so move that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Prior to discussion on Article 17, this does require a 2/3 majority vote. Is there any discussion for Article 17? Seeing none, 1 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative. Motion carries, 71%. Article 18, receipt of Mass DOT Complete Streets funding for construction of sidewalk and improvements on Mason Road from West Main Street to Meadow Lane. To see if the town will vote to receive grant funds from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, Mass DOT, through its Complete Streets program for reimbursement, subject to project selection and award by Mass DOT, up to $400,000.00 for the construction of sidewalk on the north side of Mason Road from the Mason Road Elementary School to Meadow Lane, widening of the existing path from the fire station to the Mason Road Elementary School, and connection of the 2 facilities. Work may include installation of DEP sump, infiltration or leaching catch basins, relocation of hydrants, low retaining walls, manual or uniform traffic control devices, and Americans with Disabilities Act compliance crosswalks and pedestrian ramps, and roadway pavement markings to determine whether the town will receive the funds from Mass DOT through reimbursement, to determine whether the town will cover payments to the contractor until reimbursement has been made by the DOT, to determine if the appropriation shall be raised by borrowing or otherwise, or to take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Mayor.
The FAA recommends that Article 18 be approved, and I move to appropriate the sum of $400,000 or some such sum for purposes set forth in Article 18 of the warrant, and that to fund this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, is authorized to borrow said amount pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, subsection 7 or 8, or any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds and notes of the town thereof. Any premium received upon the sale of any such bonds or notes approved by this vote, less any such premium applied to the payment of the cost of issuance of such bonds or notes, may be applied to the payment of the cost approved by this vote. In accordance with General Law, Chapter 44, Section 20, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such cost by a like amount, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Prior to any discussion on Article 18, this does require a 2/3 majority vote. Is there discussion for Article 18? Mr. Ruda.
Just for clarification for that wording article, what the town is asking to do is the town is applying for a grant from Mass DOT for $400,000. We'd like permission to borrow that money until the grant funds come in and get reimbursed. So it's essentially a bridge loan that we're asking for.
Thank you. Mr. Zakowski?
Yes, Zakowski, resident, 8 Catherine Street. I know this project came up kind of quickly, and I understand trying to get a grant for it. However, we've seen nothing as to how it's going to be accomplished along that stretch of Mason Road. There are some homes along that road that have little to no front yard that would have to be taken, and that can be taken as part of the right of way. Or the road will have to be narrowed. I've heard rumor of that. There's a lot to it. Will there be opportunity to speak about this for those folks who will be impacted by it?
Thank you, Mr. Ruda.
So we can't answer rumors without the engineering and design being completed. We have the opportunity with federal ARPA funding to pay for that engineering and design, making a shovel-ready project and attract it to grant funding. So I don't know if we're going to pay people now on the roads because we don't have an engineer or we haven't designed the project yet. So of course, there'd be an opportunity to speak about it, but it's pretty premature to say that the road's going to be narrow, they're going to be takings without having an engineer and a crew on this.
Thank you. Mr. Zakowski?
The only question I had was basically, is there going to be public hearings or anything along that line before any work gets started? So that we know the scope of the project.
Mr. Sullivan?
Thank you, Stephen Sullivan, County Drive. I understand the questions being asked at this time, but to the previous speaker, we are using your water engineer who did the work for the infrastructure on Mason Road, and using the part of the reports they submitted to you as part of our proposal to expand access to the area through sidewalks. So I don't like to deal in rumors and innuendos either. And the answers are very easily found at Town Hall, but we are using your engineer with the permission of your board.
Seeing no additional discussion on Article 18, it does require a 2/3 majority vote. At this time, 1 affirmative, 2 negative. In the affirmative. Article 19, zoning map amendment, town refuse disposal district. To see if the town will vote to amend the town of Dudley, Massachusetts official zoning map by modifying an existing town refuse disposal TRD district to include the following town-owned properties. The entirety of Assessor's Map 122 Lot 07 and Map 122 Lot 08, and a portion of Assessor's Map 235 Lot 80 for a depth of 250 feet drawn parallel to the front lot line as shown on the map entitled Proposed TRD District Revision on, well, it says the following page, but I believe it's in this packet somewhere. Yes, there is a map at the conclusion of the articles towards the map. It's called Proposed TRD District Revisions, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Marcy.
Mr. Moderator, the Board of Selectmen recommends that we refer Article 19 to the Planning Board.
Thank you. Do we have a yes, sir. There it is.
Planning Board. Mr. Moderator, the Planning Board recommends that Article 19 be approved as read, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there discussion for Article 19?
Can we read the report of the Planning Board?
Yes, please.
Article 19, zoning map amendment, town refuse disposal district. The article seeks to rezone some town-owned land into the town refuse disposal district. Landfill expansion over time resulted in a small area of the landfill extending over the zoning boundary into the residential third district. Landfills are not allowed in this district. This proposed amendment will place the area into the appropriate district. Thus, the amendment will place the entire landfill in the district where the landfills are permitted. At its October 13, 2021 Planning Board meeting, the Board held the required public hearing on the proposed amendment. The Board voted unanimously to recommend approval of the amendment to the town meeting.
Thank you. Any additional discussion for Article 19? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote for Article. Did I see a hand? I'm sorry. Yes? Yes. I thought I saw a flash out of the corner of my eye.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Phil Sam, Town Planner. Maybe you could sit back up. This is a relatively minor change. When the engineers for the solar farm at the landfill started doing their design, they discovered that a portion of the landfill extended over the zoning boundary. I think over time there was some expansion of the landfill and it just grew out of the district where it was allowed. So this change is really to rezone a portion of the residential 30 district into the TRD district, which permits landfills and also solar farms. So this project will allow the engineer of the solar farm to create the best possible design for the solar array, which will then result in greater payments to the town for the power and for the rental payments. So the area that we're talking about is sort of in the lower right hand, where the label lot 235 acres. It's about 3 acres altogether.
Thank you. Additional discussion on Article 19. Seeing none, call for a vote for Article 19. Just a moment. At this time, go ahead, 1 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative. Article 19 passes. Prior to reading Article 23, unanimous consent, I request the elimination of the reading of the 6+ pages of information associated to the article and definitions contained therein, accepting the need to read any specific section referenced during discussion Is there anyone in opposition to that, to apply to Article 20? Hearing none, I thank you all. I'll save my voice. Article 20, to see if the town will vote to adopt and include the following language into the Town of Dudley bylaws in compliance with 2016 stormwater management regulations as regulated by the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, as written. Mr. Marcy. I'm sorry.
The Board of Selectmen recommends that Article 20 be approved as printed in Appendix B, and I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Please note that I did make an error. I meant to say as written in Appendix B, which is a part of your packet. There were some slight changes to the language and the 6+ pages associated with the article. So that motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to vote on Article 20. 1 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative. Article passes. Article 21, to see if the town will vote to amend the Town of Dudley zoning map by placing into the marijuana cultivation overlay district the property owned by Robert Doherty and Lynn M. Doherty on Corbin Road as described in the deed recorded in the Worcester District Registry of Deeds in Book 58635, page 327, and shown as parcel 1 on a plan recorded at Plan Book 936, Plan 18, comprising 51.179 plus minus acres, also known as Assessor's Map 210, Lot 17, as further shown on the attached map entitled Proposed Marijuana Cultivation Overlay District, Doherty Farm, Corbin Road, or take any other action relative thereto. Mr. Marcy.
Mr. Moderator, the Board of Selectmen recommends that we refer Article 21 back to the Planning Board for further study.
Motion's been made and seconded for Article 21. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Guideline Planning Board. Sorry. Guideline 3 Linda Vista Lane Planning Board. Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend that this article be referred back to the Planning Board for further study and review for an additional town meeting, and an additional town meeting, sorry. Future town meeting. Sorry.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing none, we'll cast a vote on the amendment to the motion. Yes? Yes.
I couldn't quite catch everything Mr. Hahn said. We're voting on the amendment. Can you be clear in position of what the amendment actually is?
Pass over for further study to bring back to a future town meeting.
Yeah, Mr. Raymond, we're passing that over. We've referred it back to the Planning Board. So nothing, no action on that tonight.
So there'd be no action other than that?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No additional discussion. At this time, please cast your vote for the amendment to Article 21. 1 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative. For me, either. Just a moment. All right, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. It's good. We'll get the voices going. All those in favor of the amendment to Article 21, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? No. Amendment has passed. Mr. Sullivan?
Before we adjourn, Mr. Moderator, if I get a second, I would like to, I voted in the affirmative on Article 4, and I would like to bring it up for reconsideration. And if I get a second, I would do an explanation.
Motion been made and seconded to reconsider Article 4. Mr. Sullivan?
I'm just asking the body, please, to reconsider the vote on Article 4. It was a 9/10 majority. It was 89 to 11. As you can see by rereading, it's an unpaid bill in the amount of $10,580.79. It's an obligation that the town of Dudley incurred and did not pay for whatever reason in a timely manner. The reason why I'm asking for reconsideration was a 9/10, it was 89 to 11 at the time. It's a $10,000 bill, we have the funding for it. If we don't pay it, this bill is gonna linger out there, and it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back at the next town meeting, or the next one after that, it's probably gonna be $12,000 in interest. So I just please ask the board to reconsider the original action and approve the article as presented.
Is there any additional discussion for Article 4? Seeing none, Mr. Riddle? Sorry.
As Mr. Sullivan said, it's an outstanding bill. The problem was the bill went to Oxford because they also use the same service, and it simply just didn't catch up to us in time to pay it before June 30th. There's nothing more to it than that.
Thank you. Seeing no additional discussion on Article 4 at this time, all in favor? 1 for aye, 2 for nay. Hold. There we go.
It's going to have to be a second. No. 1 second.
Oh, one moment. Oh, let's just go voice. Get ready to hand these in. All those in favor of... Okay, never mind. We'll keep quiet then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold, that's why we keep Miss Murray here. We're going to be just another moment. What we had to vote on, and I did things out of order, we actually had to vote on the motion to reconsider, which we need to do. And then we're going to go ahead and vote on Article 4. Thank you, Miss Murray. So, we're going to do a voice vote to keep this nice and simple. If you are in favor of reconsidering Article 4, please say aye. Aye. If you are opposed to reconsidering Article 4, please say nay. Unanimous. All those in favor of approving Article 4 as written, aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Thank you.
That's unanimous. All right, thank you. I will entertain a motion to adjourn, Mr. Sullivan. Motion to adjourn is made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. All right, please hand in your clippers, everybody. Be safe, be careful in the rain. Have a great night. Nice job tonight.